If you're working with solid wood on your woodworking projects, you have really got to get a handle on understanding moisture in the material and the importance of having a moisture meter in your shop. Now here's the deal. I've got a building here at my shop. I store all my material in, then I bring it into my shop to work with it. It's not unlike having it in storage for you at a lumber yard or a hardwood supply. Then you're going to haul that stuff back and start making a project out of it. You invest a lot of money in that material, a lot of time in your project. You want to protect that investment by using a moisture meter. So I can give you a pretty graphic example here. I've got a variety of species, starting with this piece of poplar here on the end. Let's get a reading on that one. 9.1. Now I'm going to write that on here so we can go back and compare this. Now one of the things that is interesting is that as we meter these different materials, we have to do what's called a species correction here on the moisture meter. So here I'm going to go to red oak. I look that up. I change to that species. It's real simple to do here on the meter. Then I'm ready to read. Now on my red oak, on that piece, 8.1, so we're already seeing a full percentage swing there. 7.3. So that's interesting just between those two. Look at the difference I have. Now let's work our way down. We've got some walnut here, so I look that one up. That actually reads, that species is the same species correction as red oak. Look at that one. We're all the way down to 4.1 on that one. I'm going to come down to this cherry on the end. Now this is real graphic here because what I know is that this chunk of cherry has been out in this storage building for quite a while. This piece I brought back out of my shop. First, let me do the species correction. This is the one that's been out here. 9.8. The one that I brought back out of my shop, 5.6. Now here's what this tells us is that I've got a huge swing of moisture content in all these different pieces I've got here in my storage building. What we need is for the wood that we're working with to be at what's called an equilibrium moisture content. Now what that means is that I want this material to be at a moisture content that's compatible with my shop. That equilibrium moisture content can be calculated, and as a general rule, for most buildings in the United States, you want it to be between 6 and 8%. Now one of the things that's important is that each piece we're putting into a project should be close in moisture content to the other pieces. So you've seen some of the swings that I have here, and what that tells us is that we don't have every piece here at that prime equilibrium moisture content. So part of the key to this is I've got to get the material in my shop. I've got to give it time in order to stabilize and get acclimated to my shop. How much time? Well, it's going to depend on just what that moisture content is to start with and the conditions in your shop. Again, it's the importance of the meter. I'm going to come back to my moisture meter. I'm going to meter the pieces. That's going to tell me when they're actually ready to be used on that project that I'm investing my time and material into. So a couple things are going to happen with the meter. First is that having this with you when you purchase your material is going to tell you where the material is at today. Knowing that number is also going to let you know, can I work with that right away? How long is it going to have to sit and equalize in my shop before I have the chance to use it? Once it's in your shop, you can constantly monitor the pieces in order to know conclusively when they're ready. Now here's another way you can use a moisture meter, and that is to make sure that parts are compatible with maybe projects you've already got done. So here's an example. You're fixing an antique or some other piece of furniture. You're going to replace a drawer. In the perfect scenario, the material going into that repair is at the same moisture content as the material you've already got in the piece of furniture. So again, real valuable to have that moisture meter on hand so that you can be accurate about those readings. So I'll tell you what, relative to all the wood you're going to buy for your woodworking, relative to the price of all the tools you've got, moisture meter isn't that expensive an investment, and it's really going to pay back in the insurance you get, making sure the wood is nice and stable and is going to work well for your projects.